And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast, previewing the 2024 RSM Classic, the last major real event of the 2024 season. You got the father-son tournament or family tournament because there are women golfers in that. You have the Hero and a couple other little shenanigans along the way, but this is it until the TOC. So buckle up and have some fun here as we get two golf courses, which we always love. At least there's a cut, which is a plus, and some other goodness there. But first off, you can find me on Twitter at BDNtrick, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how we doing, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. Coming at you on a Tuesday because DraftKings can't get their pricing out until late at night on a Monday.
It's football season.
It's football hardcore season. Not to mention the Cowboys are in play, so God forbid anything accomplished on time. But yeah, we're bringing it. We're bringing it one final time this year. We kind of joked off the air. The Bermuda didn't watch much, but Rafael Campos got to get a card because he hadn't made a cut and it felt like forever and gets the dub.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him, man. I mean, he was like almost 300 to 1 or maybe more than that to win, and he wins. So yeah, congrats. Otherwise, I don't really know what to say about the event other than it happened.
Yes. Windy as hell. Didn't really affect the first 2 days, the waves, but over the weekend it looked pretty nasty. And you saw some guys go out early and shoot really low, like Wesley Bryan shot like a 10 under on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tied the course record. And then other guys are struggling. I was talking off the air to you about Lauer, who was complaining so much about the wind. He'd hit the ball. He said it'd basically hold up and come backwards, or he couldn't putt, like he was three-putting. And he basically said if there was real players from the tour here, they would have suspended play because of the wind, which was pretty entertaining to me because that's the only defense of that golf course. So
right, and he's like he's the only person inside the top 10 who shot over par. So there was one other guy inside the top 20, and two more guys inside the top 25. So like, what do you? That didn't affect anybody else.
Yeah, like Michael Kim, who's always great on Twitter about kind of what's going on. He said it was just fun because I think it was like down the stretch there, one of the par fours was into the wind. He's all basically turned it into like driver 3 wood to have a chance. But then the next hole was a downwind par 5. He said you'd hit it and have like a 60-degree in. And you'd be putting for eagle. He said it was just like back and forth all over. So he's all complaining about it. Really doesn't make sense.
Right.
Everyone's playing in it and you got to figure it out. But
right. I mean, play better. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Pretty much. Like, maybe play better so you don't have to play in these events.
Right.
Throwing it out there. Those
Very
are options too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. And I'll play Lauer again this week because he's been on fire. But we'll talk about that in the picks to come. Other than that, like there's not a whole, like everyone's seen everything else going on with Rory picked up his another race for Dubai as he had an emotional moment over there, it appeared. And I got really nothing else. Did you want to hit on anything else? Or you want to talk some RSM?
Let's hit it.
All right, RSM Classic, everybody, down there in Sea Island, Georgia. 2 courses, the Seaside course and the Plantation course. I've been doing it for years, and Jesse's got the past event history for us. What do you got?
Yep, since 2010, been at this event. It's been here. Last year, Ludwig Oberg was, or Oberg, whatever you want, Eberg. I don't know to tell you. 29 under par, 4 shots over Mackenzie Hughes. 2022 was Adam Svensson, 19 under, 2 shots over Harmon, Callum Tarrant, and Thigala. 2021 was Taylor Gooch. So this was a legitimate golf tournament. 22 under, 3 shots over Mackenzie Hughes. Robert Streb has won this twice. The rest of the fucking names don't matter. I mean, Mackenzie Hughes has some really good course history. I don't know if he's in the field.
He is. He is in the field, yes.
I mean,
after basically blowing up on Sunday to finish over par for the tournament last week, after the second highest priced, he is in the field and reasonably priced, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 10-3. Yeah, I got you.
Yep. Really,
that's it.
I almost thought, because we made the joke last week, I said one of these two probably misses the cut between Power and Hughes. And at first, I'm scrolling through on Sunday trying to find Hughes. And I'm like, wait, did he miss? And then no, he just shot like 8 over on Sunday. So that was good stuff all around. All right, I mentioned 2 courses. You got the Plantation course, which is inland, the Seaside course, which is oceanside, which makes sense in the name. kind of a links style course. The Seaside course is the main course. On Thursday and Friday, you'll play the Plantation, play the Seaside. Then whoever makes the cut plays the Seaside on both Saturday and Sunday. The only real defense on the Seaside is the wind. It's only a 7,000-yard hole or course. Very, very gettable. And then you got the Plantation course, which is slightly smaller as well. And you can have a ton of fun in that one. It's actually 7,200 for Seaside. My bad on that. But both par 72s. Plantation is the one you want to just torch because you're in the trees. Wind can affect you, but not to the same extent. You want to crush the par 5s, of course. So it's all about approach game and get hot with the putter. Whereas Seaside, you have the wide fairways and whatnot, but the weather can get to you. It's Bermuda grass pretty much throughout. You need to be able to at least 2-putt because some of these greens are of the bigger side of things. So they're very undulated and can be tricky. But as a whole, you mentioned we've seen a ton of tournaments here. If you don't take advantage of Plantation, you can just throw your lineups away is the best way I can put it. I actually saw some stats today, and I'll give credit where it's due on the Twitter bot there, but from Joe at Tour Picks. He says 8 of the last 9 winners have been in 8th place or better after round 1. 7 of the last 9 winners have been in first place after round 2. And 6 of the last 9 winners have been on the Plantation course to start their tournament. So there you go with that. Jesse, what events or what stats are you looking at this week?
Yeah, it's another resort course on the PGA Tour here. 29 under wins it. That's actually the last year is the course record the tournament record for 4 days. They just blitzed the field. Ludwig did. So birdie or better obviously matters. Approach matters, and around the green, I've got weighted here as well. Par 5 scoring and plenty of course history, so we weight that as well.
All righty, let's get into the DK side of things here. We got 3 guys over $10,000. We got Ludwig at 11-2, the defending champ, but has not played on the fall swing. Davis Thompson at 10-4 and Denny McCarthy at 10,000. None of them rate out great in my models, but I do have feelings on some. What are your thoughts on the 10K range?
It's funny because Davis Thompson's 3rd in mine.
50th in mine.
Of course, history's not great. 53rd, miscut, 23rd. So it's not like he plays really well here. But coming off a 5th place finish at the Shriners, it's like he was pretty good all around, especially on the par 5s. 10 under on the par 5s for the week. There, he hasn't missed a cut since the Canadian Open, but obviously Ludwig is the class of the field. It's not even particularly close. So pick your poison. I don't mind jamming Ludwig in. Davis would give me a little bit more pause, but that may make him a pretty good GPP play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cheap golfers here, so you can have some fun if you need to get these guys in. I don't mind Ludwig. I'll probably just pass because I think a lot of people will jam Ludwig in here because he definitely is the class of this entire field. If he shows up, he should blitz this place. But he did have surgery on his knee, first tournament back. We'll see how things go, but if he's playing, he's probably healthy. For me, it's Denny McCarthy, weirdly enough. Hasn't played much of the fall swing, but if we talk about course history here, 5th last year, 46th, 10th, miscut 9th, or 8th, sorry. So 3 out of the last 5 years, top 10 or better. Finished the year pretty darn strong, all things considered. As I load up his pages, he didn't play in the fall swing, but the BMW 26th, FedEx 9th, Wyndham 33rd, struggled in Europe, shocker. But, overall, a pretty good season from Denny McCarthy. If we're looking at guys to enjoy putting, don't mind some Denny as well. I'll probably avoid the 10K range and just load up in the middle here. But if you want to, plenty of guys, you can make arguments for all of them. Thompson, we're talking about par 5 scoring. When he's locked in, is one of the best on tour. That could be why he had a great time at the Shriners. And then, Ludwig's Ludwig. All right, 9K range for you. Brian Harmon at 98, Siwoo at 96, Poston 94, Ben Griffin 93, Seamus 92, McNeely 91, Matty Wallace 9,000. And real quick, did you see, I only saw it via Twitter because I didn't watch Euro Golf. Did you see Matt Wallace destroy a fairway over there in Abu Dhabi because he had a bad, just like completely destroyed it and left it destroyed. It was Sergio-esque is the best way I can say it.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, who do you like in the 9K range?
Siwoo at 96. Course history is not very good. 71st, miscut 18th. Was 6th his last time out at the Zozo. JT Poston won his last time out at the Shriners. And his course history, again, not great necessarily, but 44th last year, 21st, miscut 14th, miscut. So I mean, it's not great, but he just is coming off a win. Ben Griffin's the guy here for me. 8th, 29th in his last 2 starts at this event, coming off an 8th place finish at Bermuda. 24th the week before that, and 22nd the week before that. So Ben is trending in the right direction and has a good course history at $9,300. Like him quite a bit.
Yep, love Ben Griffin at 93, 100% with you on that one. Don't mind Seamus Power. He's 8th in my model. He did struggle a bit last week, 23rd, but 13th at the Zozo, 11th at Black Desert, 11th at Sanderson. If we're looking at past events here, didn't play last year, but 5th and 4th previous 2 outings here for Seamus. So don't mind him as well to go with Ben Griffin. And then Matt McNeely at 91. This is another guy, like, he rates out really poorly in my model. 104th in approach, 101 in the par 4s, 102 in the par 5s, which kind of surprised me, actually. Because you look at McNeely, 17th last week, 6th at the WWT, withdrew from the Zozo, 16th at the Shriners. So 3 out of the last 4 events been playing pretty well. Hasn't played great here, 58th, miscut, and a 53rd. But recent form is really good for Matt McNeely. Feels like a guy that's close to figuring things out, so I don't mind him either. So I do like the bottom of this 9K range between Griffin, Power, and McNeely. Could find myself peppering these guys if I avoid the 10K range for sure. 8K, you got Harris English at 89, Mackenzie Hughes, there's that man at 88, Eric Cole 87, Luke Clanton at 86. I'll mention him in a minute. Austin Eckroat 85, Spawn 84, Kirk 83, Glover 82, Novak 81, and you got Gim and P. Raj, who had a good week last week at 8,000. So who do you like in this range?
Harris English at 89. 28th, 29th, miscut 6th in his last 4 starts at this event. I'm pretty sure he lives here, right? Isn't this where a bunch of them live? Sea Island?
Yes, Sea Island boys is what they call them. Some either in Sea Island or right around there in Georgia. Like, there's a reason why Davis loves in this tournament. He helped remodel one of the courses, and Kiz is in this. Yeah, there's a lot of the Georgia boys.
3 straight top 15s for Harris, 14th, 9th, and 6th in his last 3 starts. Eric Cole at 8,700, 2 out of 2 made cuts here, finished 3rd last year. Come off a 6th place finish at the Zozo. Austin Eckroat at 85, 8th here last year. Won his last time out at the WWT Championship. And before that had made 5 straight cuts, or 4 straight cuts. So he's on 5 now. But with the win there. JJ Spawn, 8,400. 4 straight made cuts at this event. Has finished inside the top 16 in the last 3 years. 13th, 15th, 16th. So he keeps getting about 1 spot better. So he should finish inside the top 12 this year, if you like to bet on those kind of things. And then 4 straight made cuts for him, including the 6th place finish at the Zozo. Otherwise, I mean, really, he's made a bunch in a row, but he withdrew from the Sandersons for whatever reason. Oh, that's right, because I played him on my team that week. But before that, like, he hadn't missed a cut since the Canadian Open back in June. So he's playing pretty good golf. Just that one WD kind of makes things weird. But Chris Kirk at 8,300, 28th here last year. 2 straight miscuts before that, but 18th in 2020, and then miscut, and then 2 straight made cuts. So he's kind of up and down, but hasn't missed a cut since the Memorial. 35th, his last time out the Black Desert. A month before that was 24th. A week before that was 9th at the BMW. Lucas Glover, he did miss the cut here last year, but before that had made 4 straight cuts and had a couple top 11s in there, and has made 5 straight cuts on tour, including a couple of 3rd place finishes about a month ago. He did play last week and finished 42nd. Last but not least, Doug Gim, 8,000, miscut last year, 40th in 2021, 2 straight made cuts before that. So 3 in a row, then missed the cut, and is coming off a miscut at the Bermuda, where he did shoot 73 the first day, 68 on Friday. Did not hit his irons particularly well. So I look for him to bounce back this week.
Yep, loaded range here. This is another reason why I'm kind of like, I'd rather just pepper the 8K and low 9s potentially and not have to worry about the cheapies, even though I do like some of the cheap plays. I like English 89, the course history more than anything is something I like there. Eric Cole at 87, very, very enticing for me. Hasn't played in a couple weeks, which kind of surprised me because he feels like he never takes a week off. But, 6th at Zozo, missed the Shriners, 16th at Sanderson, and the past year here, 3rd. So, and he's always a boomer bust guy. We've seen him blow up. But if you're wanting a guy that can attack par fives, 3rd in this field over the last 24 rounds in par 5 scoring, his approach game, 7th from 1 to 125, 10th from 125 to 150, 15th from 150 to 175. So he's got a strong, strong approach game. It comes down to, honestly, he's been missing fairways like crazy. Could he get away with it here? Most likely. So that could be fun. The one that makes it fun for me, because I don't know a ton about this man. I've heard the name. I've seen him. I played him a little bit. But Luke Clanton at $8,600 is number 1 in my model somehow. Yeah, this is where I had to triple check when I saw this, but then I looked and I'm like, okay, let's dig a little deeper here. He hasn't played in the entire fall swing, so the data's a little loose. Let's put it that way. And then if you just look at past history, he's never played here either. So take that with a grain of salt all you want when you look at Luke Clanton, because he rates out as number 1 in this field in birdie or betters, 1 in DK scoring, 5th in fairways, 2 in greens and regulations, par 4s. He's great. But let's see exactly what Luke Clanton's done of late. He's basically coming over. He finished 5th at the Wyndham. He finished 50th at the Brook here. So he played 1 event in the fall. But 5th at the Wyndham is actually pretty impressive. Miscut at the 3M, 37th at the ISCO, 2nd at the John Deere, 10th at the Rocket Mortgage, 41th to the U.S. Open. So he has 3 top 10s out of 7 tournaments. It's interesting, the tournament, I'll say that much. But he stood out like a sore thumb looking at the price points there for one Luke Clanton. All right, Austin Eckroat, love him. You mentioned him, 8,500. I think he's phenomenal for this event. The current form and history is really good. Spawn's got the course history, as you mentioned. Lucas Glover, he's 5th in my model, and Spawn is 3rd in my model. And they both played really well here / current form for Glover, so I like that. Novak at 81 is intriguing. He's 37th in my model, but he was near the top of the leaderboard for a while. Finished 2nd last week, so he's finished towards the top, but he was going up and down with many of them. 16th at the Zozo, cut, withdraw, 23rd at Sanderson. So when it comes to tournaments, he's been giving you good returns when he makes the cut. Made 2 out of 3 cuts here recently. So, course history, maybe not the best, but current form is pretty strong for Novak. And then Dougie Gim, 7th in my model, $8,000. This one miscut last week, which is full tilt because he was playing basically top 25 golf for quite a while there. But you come back here, miscut, didn't play in the first event of 23, then 40th, 15th, 65th. If you want to back to Dougie Gim, you can. And then P. Roch is always an open, an ocean coastal GPP play. Finished 10th here 2 years ago. He's also got some missed cuts, played well at the Bermuda. So he's not like the top of my list, but I won't stop anybody from wanting to play P. Raj this week. All right, 75 to 79, you got Straka. He's a Sea Island boy. Mitchell, Sea Island boy. Svensson, McCarthy, Stevens. There's Lauer. Kuchar, Sea Island boy, or at least Georgia boy. Fishburne, Bridge. Let's see if these guys all play, though. Bridgman, Moore, Hoey, Hubbard, Berger. Another fun little range here. Who do you like here?
You got Hoey in the field? Hoey?
I got him. I still, unless he got taken out somewhere along the way.
He's not on.
Yeah, I got him right here at I just read him. 75 hundo. But he does not have a tee time next to his name like everybody else. I will look this
he
up.
He may have withdrawn.
Yeah, that would suck. He's been my go-to.
Yeah, I know. He's been like hammer time, cash worth. Yeah, he's out.
Damn it.
Yeah.
This is like 2 weeks in a row. There's a guy.
Yeah. That happened about supposedly, I guess, 11:30 yesterday. So again, why are we including him? It's the same exact thing that happened last week.
Oh, he got in. I wonder if he didn't. Looks like he didn't withdraw. He got in by a sponsor. Fratelli got in with a sponsor's invite. So maybe Hoey sneaks in later. We'll see. All right. Either way, he's not in the field right now.
He withdrew because he's got his PGA Tour card, basically.
Smart move.
Yeah, I guess let somebody else try. All right, so Vincent at 7,800, 5th, first in his last 2 starts here. Did miss the cut 3 straight years before that. 2 straight made cuts for him on tour, including 39th at the WWT. He didn't play last week in Bermuda. Lauer, 7,700. This is interesting because he's never made a cut here in 4 tries. The last 3 years he's played, his first try was in 2014, but so has never made a cut here, but is coming off back-to-back top 5s. It's hard not to play him, even though his course history is so bad. Kuchar's played here a lot. I'm not sure what exactly his record is, but he's made 4 of his last 7 cuts at this event. Coming off a 30th place finish his last time out 2 weeks ago at the WWT. Bridgman at 7,600, 54th here last year, but so starting to Shriners and moving forward to last week, 29th, 14th, 12th. So he is trending upwards, which is what you like to see in any golfer. So Bridgman at 7,600, I do like quite a bit, and that's it.
All righty, for me, Svensson at 78, 21st in my model. He's didn't play last week at 39th, 46th, miscut 25th, so 3 out of the last 4 cuts for Svensson. And if you want to go even deeper for the guy, 5th here last year, 1st the year before. So don't mind going back to some Adam Svensson on this one. 77, Sam Stevens. He's 36th in my model. He is 4th on birdie or better, which I do like. Par 5 scoring only 83rd is a bit concerning. I won't deny that. But dude's made at least 5 straight cuts going back to the Sanderson Farms, including a 6 at the WWT 2 weeks ago. And in this field, he's missed 2 cuts. So course history, not great, but current form pretty strong for Stevens. Justin Lauer, I'll keep playing him. You mentioned his success. He's 4th in my model. He's playing great golf. Kuchar, he's 2nd in my model at 76. So I definitely like him as well. Fishburne, he's 18th in my model at 76. I like him a lot as well. You mentioned a lot about him at 12th at the WWT. He's made 3 of the last 4 cuts, which I like to see when looking at these I like more current form at this point of the season with these guys. Bridgman, I'll keep playing. He's been awesome. As you mentioned, 12th and 14th the last 2 weeks. He's been T29 or better in his last 5 events, or 4 out of 5 events. So I like him at 7,600 as well. And then last but not least, Hubbard at 7,500. He's 17th in my model. He just kind of ejected towards the end. He still finished 3rd, but this dude had some putting woes that probably should have ran away with the golf tournament if he didn't just – that's why I say kind of ejected. It was just rough to see him miss some of the putts that he missed. But Hubbard in a potential bogey fest, I'll get behind. And then Berger, I'll keep giving him shots, man. So he's making cuts. He's just not putting it all together yet. I know we talked a lot about that last week with him. Even though the finishes aren't great, he's still 22nd in my model, and he's been playing enough to, the last 24 rounds, these are actually legit stats for recent performance. So I don't mind Bergs as well. So a lot of guys are like in this range, a lot of good GPP targets, and a lot of good consistent golfers right now. At least like in cash, a lot of these guys are making cuts if you're looking for something there as well. 7K to 74 goes from Putnam all the way down. My God, it's like 12 7K guys, all the way down to Lashley. So who do you like in this range?
Start with Putnam at 7,400. I talked about him last week. He missed the cut, of course. But he bounced
on
back
on the number. So
yeah, he bounced back on Friday and had a good round. So that's positive. 21st here last year, missed the cut, or in 2022, excuse me. 21st, 2022, missed cut, 37th, missed cut, 12th. So every other year he's making the cut. This would be the off year if you like that type of shit. Michael Kim playing pretty solid golf right now. 12th, 30th, and 5th in his last 3 starts on tour, including 12th last week at Bermuda there. 35th his last start here in 2022. He played before that too, and 2 out of 4 made cuts. So 3 out of 5 total for Michael Kim at this event. Joe Highsmith, 5th his last time out, the WWT. I think this is one of the guys who
he's the way I withdrew after we pumped him up. Yeah,
we were wanting to play him last week at the Bermuda. So this week, I think is another time to just go back to him. People have short-term memories. 5th at the WWT, 16th Shriners, 6th Black Desert. So 3 straight top 16s for Joe Highsmith. Grayson Siggs, 7,300, 8th and 15th in his last 2 starts at this event. Finished 9th last week, 23rd the week before that, and 11th the week before that. Not consecutive weeks, but in his starts there. So playing pretty solid. Thorbjornsen, I don't know why. I'm going to go ahead and just say no to that because I had him checked off just simply because he was high up the model, but I'm just going to uncheck him. So probably go ahead and bet him to win. And that's it. That's all I got. Maybe Rio at 7,000.
Playing well. Yep.
He may be a guy that I would go to down there a little bit lower.
Now, see, this is why I can justify playing guys up top. I don't mind a lot of this range either. It's like between 7 and 9, there's a lot of good options in my book. I like the Putnam call, bouncing back there. Hopefully people get mad about the miscut. Michael Kim playing great. Highsmith, I'm easily going to get back on that train. We waxed poetically about him last week. He's still 6th in my model over the last 24 rounds. 3rd in birdie or better in this field, 16th in par 5s. Go right back to him. Grayson Sig, we talked about him last week. He's 2nd in the short par 4s, 5th in birdie, greens and regulation. So he attacks the pins here. Great last week. You mentioned course history is phenomenal. So like Sig as well. You got guys like Vince Whaley at $7,300 coming in here 5th last week. He's made at least 5 straight cuts: 5th, 55th, 16th at the Shriners, 17th, 16th at the Sanderson Farms. So some good finishes for Vince Whaley. Not to mention a 13th here last year. He's made 3 of his last 4 cuts in this event. So Whaley could be one to look at. Chandler Phillips is 30th in my model at $7,300. This is a guy who didn't play last week, but then 20th, 33rd, miscut, 33rd. You'd like better than 33rd, but 33rd or better in 3 out of 5 events makes for a good tournament play at $7,300. Has never played this tournament. We got guys like Echeverria, who's coming in great form, 29th, 6th, 1st, miscut 11th. So playing really well on the fall swing, made the cut here. He's 1 for 2 in cuts at this golf tournament. Carson Young at 72, playing great golf, 62nd with 2nd, 37th, miscut 11th. Another guy that can go super low at times. We played him a lot this past year. And talked about him as like a $6,500 guy. He's moved up the ladder, especially in a field like this. 71st last year, missed cut, so he's made 1 of 2 cuts here. A few other guys you mentioned, or Wesley Bryan. I'll go back to him at $7,200. Zero qualms about that. Dude was lights out last week. He's 17th, 6th in his last 2 events, made 4 straight cuts. So Wesley Bryan would be another one to look at.
I'll second him.
Yeah, 44th here last year in his 1 attempt, at least over the last 5 years. So I like that one. And Alex Smalley's 11th in my model. Hardy's 20th. I like both of them at 71. If you need to peff it around, if I need to give a little love for Smalley, he's made at least 5 his last 5 cuts, going back to the Sanderson where he finished 5th, 29th last week, 39th the week before. So again, $7,100. He's finished 44th and 5th here in the last 2 years. And then you mentioned Ryu, who I don't mind either at 7K. There's so many of them, but I won't go deep into these guys. Like Ben Coles is 9th in my model. Bramlett's played well here. Springer and Ramey. You got a lot of options in this range if you want to mix and match for tournaments. But I do. We're on a lot of the same guys, but don't mind quite a few. Obviously, people might get annoyed by that, but we'll narrow that down in the next segment. 6K range. Who do you like? Your boy Lanto's up there at 69.
Yeah, there's the first guy I was going to talk about. Lanto there. His course history is not great. Miscut, 40th, miscut, but hasn't missed a cut since the John Deere this year. So 12th last week, the Bermuda, pretty impressive. Ryan Moore at 67, finished 8th here last year, come off a 23rd last week. Smotherman at 6,700. He's made 2 out of 3 cuts at this event. His highest finish is 40th. So not necessarily what you like, but we're in the 6K range here, so we're not begging. And he finished, or we are begging, 55th last week for Smotherman. And I can't click. Well, Taylor Montgomery at 6,400 is another guy. Simply based on course history, 8th and 15th in his last 2 starts, which is the last 2 years at this event. 64th his last start, which was the WWT. Before that, miscut, WD, miscut, 74th, 44th. I mean, I don't really know what's going on with Taylor, but he has played well at this event the last 2 years.
Yeah, there's a few guys like that. I haven't starred, but not sure I'm in love with. But I'm with you on Lanto. The current form's great. I have Dylan Wu and Sam Ryder off here. Ryder finished 5th last week. He was going low. He's made 3 out of 4 cuts. Dylan Wu's made 3 out of 4 as well. So I don't hate those 2 options if you need them. And Sam Ryder finished 13th here last year. Wu missed the cut last year, but 46th, 51st the previous 2 years. So they've got at least some form here. Garrett Higo at 68, I'm liking quite a bit. Last week finished 17th, 6th the week before. So coming in some really strong form at 68. Now, didn't play her last year, missed a cut the year before. He's only played one time. So take that grain of salt, however you'd like. Ryan Moore at 67th, finished 8th here last year, finished 23rd last week, missed cut 34th. So boomer bust guy with good history here. Brandon Wu coming in 23rd last week, 30th the week before. And he has made, where did Brandon Wu go to? He's made 2 straight cuts here with 58th, 54th, kind of mediocre. I'm not recommending this, but I'm rooting for it, is what I'm going to say. Kiz showed up last week. Just going to say that. Kisner showed up last week. That was fun. 29th at the Butterfield. He's a Georgia boy, so if you want to go that route, you're more than welcome to. Other than that, I have a bunch of dudes checked off, but I can't stomach them. The ones I would say is if you want $6,400, like you mentioned Montgomery, I'll say David Skins, who you mentioned last week, finished 42nd. He's made 5 out of 6 cuts. He's played every week of late, so don't hate the David Skins approach there. And if you look at recent history here, he finished 29th back in 22, so he hasn't played a ton of golf at this course. And other than that, you got Rusty Knox has played well here, Tyson Alexander, but I try to avoid it if you could. All right, Jesse, let's recap things. 10K and above, who you got?
I'll say Davis Thompson, just to not be obvious.
Yeah, I'll go Denny McCarthy to do the same. 9K range.
Ben Griffin.
That is the pick. I will go with Mad McNeely. 8K range. Go ahead and take 2. It's a big range.
Sure. Eric Cole and JJ Spawn.
I like that. I'll go Eckroat and Novak. 75 to 79.
Can we do 2 again?
Yeah, go for it.
Svensson and Bridgman.
I like that Svensson. I like both those picks, actually. So now I'll give the listeners more fun. I'll go with Hubbard and no, never mind. I'll go with Fishburne and Lauer. So I like all 4 of those picks between the 2 of us. 7K to 74. You can go 2 again if you like.
Highsmith and Sig.
Yeah, Sig would be one of my favorite plays down here. So I'll go elsewhere. Give me Carson Young and Wesley Bryan. So we're narrowing things down a bit. And then 6K range, you got Lanto?
Yeah, I don't want to say anybody else's name. I don't really want to say his name, but yeah, he would be the guy.
If I don't want to be down here either, but if I am, I'll go Garrett Higo and hope he can keep things hot. All right, if you're building cash, where do you start this week?
Probably Ben Griffin, JJ Spawn, and Svensson.
I go Ben Griffin, Harris English, and Matt Kuchar. Tournaments, though, where are you going?
I'll say Davis Thompson, Bridgman, and Sig.
Yeah, Sig would be 100% there for me. I go Eckroat. Give me Eckroat, Lauer, and Sig. But man, you could leave money on the table this week. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of money you can leave on the table if you want. All right. The moment everybody waits for. You got 9-1 odds on Ludwig. Davis Thompson's 22-1, Harmon's 22-1, McCarthy 25. So there's a heavy favorite, one may say, in this field. Yeah. Where are you looking to potentially lay some bets if you're laying bets this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna bet some here. I got Lauer. I'm just gonna bet him, even though his course history is terrible. At 45, and then also a top 10. So same amount on each. And then Bridgman, same thing. He's at 60 though, obviously, and then 5-1 on his top 10. And then just a couple old guys who know how to win and can win. JJ Spawn and Chris Kirk.
Don't mind that at all. For some top 20 bets, Lauer's plus 200, Svensson's plus 210. I like both of those. And you got Grayson Sig at plus 240. I like that as well. And let's give a plus 300 or better here just to really spice things up for everybody. Carson Young is plus 360. He's playing some great golf right now. If you want to go that direction. Again, we're just talking top 20. Bramlett plus 400 with his course history. Wesley Bryan plus 400 as well. Sam Ryder at plus 450. There's some fun plus top 20 bets this week, folks. I think if you sprinkle some of those, you might have some fun as well. All right, Jesse, we're going to wrap it up there. Another season in the books. Coming back in January with the TLC. I guess if we get bored, we can do a show to preview the season if we want. I don't know. It's a hectic time of the year, but we can figure something out if we want. But otherwise, TOC coming up. Any final thoughts for the RSM or anything else golf related?
I don't. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll be back with you guys next season. And until next time, follow Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods, the podcast at Always Press DFS. I am at BD Intric. This is your 2024 RSM Classic preview. Catch you all next time.